What's up, guys? Welcome to Simple Chinese. My name is Mike Lin, and in this lesson, I will be talking about all the compound finals. So if you haven't watched the previous video, which is about simple finals and the initials, make sure to go back and check that video so you have a better understanding what I'm talking about this time. Okay. So basically, just to summarize, all if you see Chinese, basically all those characters, things like that. And if you wanna speak, if you wanna pronounce this character, we don't really have anything. If you just look at this word, we don't really know how to do that. So there's a system. It's called the pinyin right here. Okay. So what pinyin does is basically just gives a character, kind of explains how the character is pronounced. So each character there is a pinyin associated with it. Okay. So for example, this one right here, the pinyin for this letter character will be ni, okay, and then ni means you in Chinese, okay. So that's what this is mean, okay. That's what we're doing pinyin, and there's basically how pinyin structured is there's initials, so initials. That's what that means. Basically, the first part, right? You have the initial, and there's the second part, which is in the finals, right? And then there's only one type of initial, and that's all we have. And then the finals, there's two types. One is simple final, and then today we're gonna talk about compound final. But for all the simple finals, there's only 6 of them, which is a, o, i, u. Okay, so if you don't know those ones yet, like I said, I'll go back to the previous video and then check out all the things in the past. You should have a very good understanding of what those are. Okay, so for today, what we're talking about is just all the compound finals. So all of these are basically just all the rules you have to know to be able to understand pinyin and understand Chinese to pronounce that. It's kind of overwhelming in the beginning, but as time goes by, it will get a lot easier. It's just like any other languages. It takes time, and basically, let me just go through with all those initials as a review, I guess, to really kind of give you a better understanding and helps you in the future too. So these are all the initials that we have. Okay, so they are bo po mo fo de te ne le ge ke he ji qi xi, right? Then zi ci si, and zhi chi shi, and then zhi. Okay, you should be able to say those. Those are pretty easy. Like I say in the previous video, we talk a lot about all these things. But for today, we're mainly focused on all those compound finals. Okay, so the reason I'm running 1 through 6 is, I guess, just kind of make things look pretty kind of organized. But I mean, you don't have to. It's pretty straightforward in here. So let's just go through all of these one by one. Okay. So if you learn all those simple finals, simple finals, which is a, o, e, i, u, yu, you can tell most of them just in a combination of the simple finals. That's why it's called compound finals, right? So it's very self-explanatory. So here, how do you pronounce this one? A and the A and the E. Okay, you might think of something different, maybe like I, but no. In this case, it will be I. Okay, it's still like I in English. The letter I, kind of like that kind of sound. So that's I. That's like A. This is like the ABC A, or more like a number 8 A. Okay, A, ow, and then O. That's like a very English O, like letter O. Okay, if that helps you remember. Okay, so again, I, A, ow, O. Okay, and move to the next one here. This one here. An. That's how you say this one. An, A-N, an. Okay, and then this one here. N. It's kind of like L-M-N. No, it's kind of different. Never mind. So N. Okay, make sure you can say that N. And then here, this word here, this one right here is pretty similar to on here. Only difference is at the G, right? And how we say it is just on. You know, you might hear maybe hear the exact same, but it's kind of different. Okay, this one just without using your throat, just on. Okay, this one is like on. You know, just to kind of exaggerate a little bit. So this one is on, and this one is just on. Okay, and then this one, same thing compared to this. This one is just n, like kind of flat, kind of just use your, you know, like your tongue here, just like n. And then this one can also use your throat here. So n, 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 n. See the difference? An, an. This one's an, on, an, on. Kind of use like, you know, like your throat to kind of repronounce it, oh kind of sound for these two. Okay. And then this one here, on. So it's also kind of, you know, use your throat here. So whenever you see a G in the end, use like on, like on, on. Like you don't have to do that, you know, like you know, significant. You don't have to like be, you know, that exaggerated, but at least, you know, put a little bit. Like usually when we talk in Chinese, like I mean, if you like pretty much every languages when we talk fast, even English, you don't really kind of skip. You can kind of skip a lot, you know. So it's kind of like those, you know, it's kind of similar in this case. Like, you know, you don't really, you know, clearly hear the difference. Like you don't really care. People don't really pay attention, you know, to really distinguish the difference, unless you want to be like, you know, a talk show, whatever, you know, a reporter, things like that, right? But in this case, it's just remember there's a slight difference, okay? On and the on, okay? To, you know, if you just to identify the difference, so in the future if you practice, kind of really help you learning, I guess. Then the third one here is all the, you know, I guess starting with I here, or maybe the last one here. Well, this one is already been written, so get rid of that here. But okay, this one will be ia. So in this case, all the with I is just doing the same, just like, you know, at a ia, ya, you know, ya, right? Ya, yao, you know, it's kind of ia, yao. So in this case, with the I here, with the E here, it's kind of just, I'm gonna explain this next, but for right now, just remember, and all these sound, you know, just like, you know, you start with say E first, and then whatever that is. So it will be ya, yao, yeah, because it's right here, yeah, 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 okay. So it will be you, right? You, yeah, that's right. You, young, okay? In, young, okay? You see, I, E and A and G, you know, on, E and on together. Remember this one? On here. So, E, on, young, okay? And then this one is just yung, like also going to use your throat here. So whenever there's a G, okay, use your throat here. I'm gonna pronounce it yang, yan. See the difference here? Yan and the yang, yan. And then you use your throat here. Okay? And then the fourth one here is starting with all the U here. So wa, right? Uo, y, right? I, because here is, remember I here, I, y, we, right? If you say it fast, just we, right? One, right? One, right? One, right? And one, right? One, and then when, you know, so use your throat. So it's, you know, it's, if you go through like, if we know all the rules already, like, it's pretty simple, honestly, right? You just kind of practice, you know. Even me, like, I don't, like, know, like, even all those pinyin, like, that's just the most fundamental. You don't really, like, it's kind of, I kind of have to go back and just look at all these things, like, oh my gosh, I've been, like, for so many years. But I mean, this thing stick to your mind, right? Like, you never forget. It's like, if you know ABC, you know ABC. Like, you know, after 30 years, you can obviously still say ABC alphabet. It's no problem. Same thing with this, you know. Like, it's kind of brand new. It's kind of hard to learn. But once you master all these, you will never really kind of need that again, you know. Or maybe like when you're typing, but like I said, become second nature. You don't really become second nature, so you don't really think about that much. Okay. And then here number 5 here is remember this one? This one is yu, right? So yue, right? Yu, and the ao, This one is pronounced by itself, but with that will be yue, okay? And then yuan, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to say that actually. So make sure you say it right. It's like with a y. So yuan, and then yun, yeah, yun, yeah. That's how you say that one. So and the last one is just you know, like like even English, just like It's just like, you know, like player, same kind of sounding pinyin in this case, okay. And then here we talk about 3 different things you have to know here from the compound finals, okay. So for this one here, I and the Y. So we see there's no really initials for Y and the W, right? It's kind of weird. Why is that? Because when we do use Y in Chinese, you know, in pinyin, you know, I say Y, I mean obviously it means E in Chinese. It just kind of makes things easier. But these 2 in Chinese pronounced the same. This one, you know, English Y, it's also, you know, in Chinese will be E. Okay, so these 2 are the same in Chinese. And so does this one here. Okay, W, U. This one, U, also U in Chinese. So these 2, Y, W and the Y, it's the same as, you know, I and the U, you know, E and the U. They both pronounce E and they both pronounce U. And then we're gonna talk about this after these 2. Okay. So when do you ever use here? This one, E, is whenever here. Sometimes, for example, like you can, even though it's compound finals, sometimes you don't have to use initials to go with finals. So it's never like in Chinese, like I said, the pinyin is it's either just by itself, like it's either in the finals by themselves, you know, like just that by itself, you know, with single final that by itself, or there's an initial plus the compound final, right? Or plus the the single final, right? So initials, if initials by itself, it's not gonna work. It has to be either. So basically 3 ways, okay? Either compound final, either initials with compound final, or initials with a single final, or just, you know, single final or compound finals by themselves, if that makes sense. Okay, whatever, you know, character you have to write. Okay, so that being said, when it's just compound finals by themselves, okay, let me give an example here actually. So let's say this one here, AI, okay, so it would be just you, AI, right? Chinese, they pronounce I, or I, you know, like I'm gonna talk about that in the future. This one right here can just itself just represent a character. It can be a pinyin of a character. Pinyin, you can be like the word love in Chinese. Okay, I is literally that, and that's an pinyin for I. Okay, so that works, right? So that means this one compound final can just you know, by itself become a pinyin for a character. So, but that will be fine. But in this case, when it's I, so when it's all these number 3, the entire number 3 here. Okay, let me draw the star here. It's not really a star, but here we go. Draw a star here, right? All of these, you know, you start with E here, right? You don't really use that I here. You use Y. So whenever the compound finals, you know, for example, all these I, starting with I, that will become a Y. Okay. So whenever you only can use IAN or, you know, IN or IU or IE or IA or, you know, EL, EI, EA, U, all those. Whenever you can use those, you have to have an initial in front of those to actually use this form. So what does that mean? For example, use it here. The and that. Okay, dian. So you can write the I an. Right, dian. Okay, so we add these two. Choose this one here. Okay, we add in the initial, right, and then we add this compound final, and then boom, there's a pinyin here, dian, right? But if it's just by itself, like I an can also be maybe for another, other kind of yin, for like a character, which in this case, basically what it means you cannot start with I, we cannot start with the E here, you have to start with Y, so it becomes like this, okay? So that becomes this, okay? And these two they're in the same, like these two are equal to each other, excuse me. The only difference is whenever this I is in the very beginning, it has to become a Y. But whenever there's a letter in front of an initial, if there's an initial, and then just I, A, and G. Okay, whenever there is an initial, if you use I as the initial, and then it becomes Y. Okay, same thing with U. Okay, so O here, number 4 here, right? Number 4, right? So instead of writing UA, you instead of writing this, what do you write? You write WA, right? So that becomes this. But if there's an initial, if there's a initial in front of UA, let's say schwa, right? Then you keep U. But if there isn't, then you write. You can write just UA. So that's what these two means. Okay. Then what does this mean? That means whenever so for example these 5 right here, okay. Actually this one too, like the U by itself. The single final would be this, right? Whenever you see these, all 4 of these cannot be by themselves, okay? So what do? You simply also put an E in front of the character. So for example, the word 雨, right? As a rain, Chinese 雨, clear it out here. The word 雨 here. Okay, that means rain in Chinese. And then its pinyin, it's actually the sound of this one right here. Okay, 雨. However, we don't write this 雨. What do we write? We write with Y. So basically, whenever you want to use all of these, there's a rule. You add a Y on every single one of those. So it becomes that. Also, get rid of those 2 dots. And then boom. That is the pinyin for rain, which is 雨. Okay? That might be confusing. Let me give you another example here. Let's say use this one here. Let's say the moon, 月亮, right? 月. The moon, 月亮, 月. Right? The pronunciation wise, they're the same as 月. Right? 月. But we don't use this one when we're trying to write the pinyin, write the pinyin out. Like we say, we put a Y in front of that. So it'll be that, and then get rid of the 2 dots, and that's how you write. And that's the tone right here. And then that's how you write the pinyin for 月. Okay. So that's pretty much all. And it's kind of messy, which is fine, but hopefully you understand all of those. I did pronounce all of them. If you want to listen again, you can just always come back. And there's a lot more combination for compound finals and initials. So I'm not going to write down all of them. But what I try to say is, I want to give you an idea. Is that I did write down all the single finals, right? But on the compound finals, I didn't. So what I did is there's a website which I'm gonna post the link down, and I'll probably also make a video about the website. is that website shows every single possible pinyin, like for entire Chinese language, which is about like a page long, wide. Which if you can memorize the entire page, then you're good to go. Okay, and for most case, it's like I said, it's all about practice. Okay, you just have to get more and more familiar with that. But as time goes by, you will get very like I say, internalized, and then you'll get very used to all these ideas. But that's pretty much all about pinyin. Okay, so let me just kind of erase all of those and give you like another quick review about what pinyin is. Okay, so basically it's a system, right, for whatever in the world there is. And let me just make an example basically. Okay, so we learn the initials, and then we learn the compound finals and the single finals too, and write it down. So the single finals. Okay. Let's say let me create an example. Let's say I want to eat rice in Chinese. How do you write those? It will be Chinese character will be 我想吃饭. Okay. Okay. So that's Chinese writing. Okay. So if I want to write the pinyin for these 4 characters, what should I do? Okay. So basically, like I say, if we do have the pinyin on top, you will see how it goes. But this word is 我. Okay, 我. So 我 我. So 我is will be this W-O. Okay. I don't do remember, but it was one of the compound finals. It was 我, right? And then whenever 我 is the initial character, you change 我 to the W, changing the U to the double U. I know why they call it W. It's obviously double V, like it's a V. It's double V. I don't want to call it W. It's just I don't know. I guess it's just do whatever they want, right? I mean, they're the creator. So 我, right? And then it will be the third tone. I will teach you that in the future lesson. And then 想. Okay, how do you write 想? Write it down here actually. She, remember the she initial? So get the initial, and then 一昂. Okay, it's I-A-N-G. Right, we had those over there not long ago. So she 一昂想. So 我想. Right, and it's the third sound. Okay. What if this is not 想? What if this is just 扬 without the she? That means we're gonna what if just this? Okay. Then we do is we change the I to Y. Okay. Because remember the rule, if it's just I, or in this case, U, if these two are the first character or the first initial for the whatever the character that is, you change them to Y. Okay, change them to Y, or in this case U. Okay, so, but 我想, okay, so that's how the Chinese is formed, the pinyin is formed. And then this one here is 吃, okay, what is 吃? 吃, it's an initial, right? We put initial, 吃 with a CH, so we'll put it right here. 吃, right? So that's the initial right here, and then put a single final, which is I, E, which in this case sound the exact same, like 吃, okay? And then 饭, okay, then write down here. How do you write 饭? 饭, so it's a F, so it's a four, right? So it's the initial is 4, right? 4 right here. And then on, it's one of the compound finals we just learned. So we put on, right? And then whatever the tone that is, 吃饭. So that's how the Chinese pinyin was formed. If you want to read this, if you just see, like a random Chinese character you don't know, and then you seek out from the pinyin, then that will be the pinyin. That's how you write those. So if I provide you, with these 4 characters and all the pinyins associated with them, you should be able to pronounce the pinyin and then you can understand, and then you'll be able to say those, pinyin, and then basically you're just saying, these Chinese words. 我想吃饭. That means I want to eat rice. Okay, so that's all about pinyin. Okay, like I only touched the surface. Like I covered everything there. There has to cover all most. I think all the important things. There might still be little things here and there. If you have questions, like I say, leave the comment below. I'll try to answer those. And in the future videos, as we obviously get by, like obviously we're gonna go back to all those subjects. Gonna touch a lot, same thing over and over again. But make sure to spend a lot of times, practice on all these opinions. Get familiar with all those. And if you have the book, which is right here, the Integrated Chinese. Okay, make sure to pick up that book if you haven't, and then just learn all those pinyin inside the book. And the next video next few videos I will be talking about, like I'll show you a website that shows literally every single whatever pinyin combination there is, so we can just learn all those, and then we get into tonality, and then after that we should be done. And then after that, you just have to really spend your own time, keep on studying, and then make sure you master this tonality, pinyin, and everything. So in the future, we actually get into all those characters. I'll just be talking. You should know, like, I hear the word 我. You should have idea of 我 in Chinese will be 乌哦, right? 乌哦我. That's how you write the pinyin. Or I show you all the pinyin, you should be able to pronounce it on your own, or have idea of how to pronounce those, right? So things like that, like say it's a system, like it's not a hard system, like it makes sense, right? Like if you explain to everybody, right? Each word, there's each character, each word, Chinese word, there's a pinyin associated with it, and how the pinyins are formed. Basically, they're either single finals by themselves, or they're compound finals by themselves, or they are combination of initials plus single finals, or initials plus compound finals. And that's all we have. And then all of those only sound like it's only one sound. So 我想吃饭. So 我想吃饭. 4 characters, right? 4 characters, 4 sounds, and that's it. So in that case, I think it's definitely manageable to learn all of those things. So I will see you in the next video, and have a good one. See you later.